Welcome back. Ever wonder what the differences are between major and minor pentatonic scales? Have you ever been confused about how or when to use a major pentatonic versus a minor pentatonic in your playing? I know I have. So today I'd like to share some tips and ideas that I found helpful throughout my life playing and teaching guitar. In this lesson, we will cover everything you need to know about major pentatonics, relative keys, parallel keys, and how to combine major and minor pentatonics in your solos, licks, and riffs. Recently, I've produced a few videos that cover minor pentatonic scales. So if you're just getting into pentatonics, I highly suggest starting there. I'll give you some links below. This lesson will focus mostly on major pentatonics, but we will use many of the concepts and theory discussed in those minor pentatonic videos. Surely you've encountered the terms major and minor before. Some of the chords you know are minor, some are major, and some are something else. Major usually imparts a happy or bright sound, whereas minor implies dark, sad, or angry. The key of a piece of music can also be major or minor. When a song is in a minor key, it means that the melody and the chords used in that song belong to a minor scale. Now, the same concept applies to songs in a major key. We'll get into some more theory later, but for now, let's go ahead and learn a major pentatonic shape that we can use and move around the neck of our guitar. Let's play a G major pentatonic scale. We got G, 3rd fret, 6th string. Open A, B on the 2nd fret. D, open, E on the 2nd fret, G, open, A on the 2nd fret, B, open, D on the 3rd fret, open E, and then G on the 3rd fret. So all pentatonic scales, whether they're major or minor, have 5 notes in them. That's what it means to be pentatonic. And the notes in the G major pentatonic were G, A, B, D, E, and then we repeated G, A, B, D, E, and then G. If you've watched my minor pentatonic videos, then you know that we can move scales around the neck to play them in different keys. If we take the shape or the pattern of that G major pentatonic we just played, we can change the key to C major pentatonic or D major pentatonic or whatever major pentatonic we want by moving all the notes in the scale up the right number of frets or intervals. In said pentatonic videos, we discussed how different types of scales have different formulas or patterns of intervals. Intervals are a unit of measurement that tell us how far away notes are from each other. Intervals we need to know for pentatonics are a half step, a whole step, and 1.5 steps, or a whole plus a half step. On a guitar, a half step is achieved by moving up or down 1 fret. A whole step is 2 frets. And a whole plus half, or 1.5 steps, is 3 frets. Knowing that, let's figure out the formula or pattern of intervals for the major pentatonic using that G major pentatonic we just played as an example. Stay with me. So here we go. G. The next note we played was A. And we played that on the open A string, but I could have played A on the 5th fret of the E string. So that's 2 frets. So we went up a whole step. So G to A, whole step. A to B is easy, because it's just 2 frets on the A string, A to B, so another whole step. We got whole, whole. B to D is a step and a half. It's a whole plus half. To check that, you can get D on the A string on the 5th fret. So B to D, 2nd to 5th fret, that is a 3 fret span. That's a step and a half. So G to A, whole. A to B, whole. B to D, whole plus half. D to E, 2 frets, that's a whole step, and then E to G, can also get G on the 5th fret of the 4th string, so that would be E to G, that's 3 frets, step and a half. So we had whole, whole, whole plus half, whole, whole plus half. So that is our formula for the major pentatonic scale. Whole, whole, whole plus half, whole, whole plus half. We can also think about the scale in terms of the shape we make with our hand as we play it. So, I started on the 3rd fret of my low E string. This note was G. Then on the A string, I played it open. So I went down 3 frets from where I started. So instead of thinking of this as fret 3, let's think of it as fret X. The reason we're doing this is because we're going to want to move this around, right? So we're going to want to change the number here, but we want to keep the formula the same. So X, and then we went to the next string and did X minus 3. And then we did X minus 2, right? X is just whatever fret number we started on. And then we did the same thing on the next 2 strings. We did X minus 3, X minus 1, X minus 3, X minus 1. Then we did X minus 3, and then we did X, fret X. And then we did fret X minus 3, and then fret X. I know this sounds like 8th grade algebra, but this pattern or formula will yield a major pentatonic scale no matter which fret you start on or which fret you make fret X. If I want to move my G major pentatonic scale up 1 fret, so I want to go from G to A flat, this 4th fret now is fret X, okay? So, let's do the scale. Let's play A flat major pentatonic. Minus 3, right? On the next string, the 5th string. Minus 1, and then on the 4th string, minus 3. It's the 1st fret, right? 4 minus 3 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3rd fret again. Right? Minus 3, minus 1, minus 3, and then fret X. Minus 3, fret X. So A flat, F, E flat, C, B flat, A flat, F, E flat, C, B flat, A flat. And just to show you, if I play it open, G major pentatonic, all the strings I played that were open became the 1st fret. All the strings where I played the 3rd fret became the 4th fret. And all the strings where I played the 2nd fret, that became the 3rd fret, right? Check it out again. So here's G major. And then here's A flat major pentatonic. Everything went up 1 fret. This works because every major pentatonic scale follows the exact same formula, right? That whole, whole, whole plus half, whole, whole plus half. And in fact, every type of scale that you can think of follows its own unique pattern. The difference between a major, minor, or any other kind of scale is the pattern of intervals the scale follows. Thus, if we move the starting note of the G major pentatonic up to another fret, but follow the same pattern or formula, we will have a major pentatonic starting on a different tonic note. In other words, moving the shape of the scale up the neck allows us to change keys, as that would change the notes in the scale, but maintain the pattern of the intervals between those notes. Let's prove this again using our guitars. What I want to do now is play C major pentatonic. So C is on the 8th fret of our low E string, or our 6th string. This note will become our tonic. The tonic of a scale is the note the scale is named after. It's also called the first scale degree, and usually the first note we play when we are practicing scales, but not always, as we are about to see. Let's use our G major pentatonic shape to play C major pentatonic up here on the 8th fret. So we are changing the tonic note from G to C. In other words, we are making fret X the 8th fret instead of the 3rd fret. Here we go. 8. That's X. So 8 minus 3. We're just following the pattern, the formula, right? That'd be 5. And then X minus 1. 8 minus 1, 7. Okay, next string. X minus 3. 8 minus 3. 5. 8 minus 1, 7. Next string, the G string. 8 minus 3, 5. 8 minus 1, 7. Second string, 8 minus 3, 5. And then just 8 again. Then 8 minus 3 on the first string. and then 8. So what about the notes that make up the C major pentatonic? Did you catch what those are? We had C, D, E, G, A, and then back again. C, D, E, G, A. And the G major pentatonic was G, A, B, D, E. So C, D, E, G, A for C major, and then G, A, B, D, E for G major. So you see the notes in the scale are different, but the pattern that we played, or the shape with our hand, was the same. And that is because the pattern or the formula of intervals is the same. So now let's give this fretboard shape or pattern that we've played a name. Since it can be transposed to different keys, we will simply call it the 6th string or the E string tonic pattern for the major pentatonic scale. We can also call it box 5 or pattern 5, but more on that in a bit. So in those previous videos on the minor pentatonics, we went over the E string tonic pattern for the minor pentatonic scale. This was also known as box 1 or shape 1. If you've watched those videos and you know that E string tonic pattern, then this major pentatonic pattern should seem very familiar. In fact, they are exactly the same. The only thing that is different is the name of the scale. So how can this be? Let me quickly show you the A minor pentatonic scale using the E string tonic pattern that I went over in that previous lesson. And like I said before, we'll call it box or pattern 1 of the minor pentatonic. And again, that link to that video is below. Watch it if you don't know what I'm talking about. So here's A minor pentatonic using box 1. And here's the C major pentatonic using the pattern we just went over a minute ago. We'll call it box 5. So we play all the same notes, except the major pattern starts with the tonic on the 8th fret, the note C, and the minor pattern starts with the tonic on the 5th fret, which is A. This is because every major key has a relative minor key that has the exact same notes. Think of it as twin brothers or sisters that have different personalities. The way we find relative keys is easy. If we were in a minor key, the tonic of the relative major would be 3 frets up, or 1.5 steps up. If we are in a major key, the relative minor is down 3 frets, or down 1.5 steps, right? So A that's the minor, A minor, and I went up 3 frets to C, that's the major. There are other and more in-depth ways to find relative keys, but as guitarists, this is the easiest way to think about it without opening up a whole music theory wormhole. So you might be saying, hey, are you telling me I can just use the same 5 shapes of the minor pentatonic when playing major pentatonics? Pretty much, yes. But let's work through this a little bit more. At this point, we hopefully understand that there are 5 notes in both the minor and major pentatonic scales. In those minor pentatonic videos, we went over how we can build 5 patterns or 5 boxes that start on each note of the scale, right? So we're not always starting on the tonic. To summarize what we went over in those videos, we can play scales by starting on any note in the scale. It doesn't always have to be the tonic. If we play the 5 notes of the A minor pentatonic scale along the low E string, our 6th string, then we would discover the starting frets for each of our shapes. Let's do that right now. If I use that A minor pentatonic scale again, we remember the notes are A, C, D, E, and G. Those are the notes that make up that scale. So I can play the first box starting on A. It's the 5th fret of my low E string. I could play the second box starting on the 2nd note, which is C, 8th fret. Third box would start on the 3rd note, D, 10th fret. Then the 4th box, I'm going to start on E, just the 12th fret, but I could also play E open, right? Remember, subtracting 12 frets gets you an octave lower. And then fifth box would be the fifth note G, 15th fret, or -12, 3rd fret. What I will do now is play each of those minor pentatonic shapes once. If you already know them, then go ahead and skip to the next chapter marker. All right, so here are those 5 shapes. A minor pentatonic box 1. Box 2. Box 3. Box 4. Box 5. Let me do it down here for you too. And then I'm back on box 1. All right, so what about the 5 major pentatonic shapes? Yes, the shapes are the same, but we will give them different numbers. Let's keep using A minor and C major pentatonic as an example. Remember, the notes for C major pentatonic are C, D, E, G, A. And the A minor pentatonic was A, C, D, E, G. So, shape 2 of the A minor pentatonic scale started on C, which is the 8th fret. So that's also the tonic of the major pentatonic, right? So let's call this box 1 or shape 1 of the C major pentatonic. Here it is. I know, it's a lot harder to play than box 1 of the minor pentatonic. Then the second note of the C major pentatonic is D, which is on the 10th fret. And this was shape 3 of the A minor pentatonic, right? So we'll just play shape 2 of the major pentatonic on D. Now, I want you to pay attention here. Note how D was also the second note we played in the first shape, right? So if this was first shape of C major pentatonic, I did 8 to 10, and then I started on 10 for shape 2. And then on shape 2, I went 10 to 12, D to E. So then shape 3 would start on E. And that's going to carry on through all the shapes of all the pentatonic scales. So whatever shape you're going to play, so let's say you want to play shape 2, that means you're going to start on whatever the second note of shape 1 was. And if you want to play shape 3, you're going to start on whatever the second note of shape 2 was. Got it? So we just played shape 2. And shape 2, the second note of shape 2 is the 12th fret, so we're going to go to that, E, and we're going to play 3rd shape here. Okay, that's also shape 4 of the A minor pentatonic. And then I'm going to do shape 4 of the C major pentatonic, which would start on the 4th note of that scale, G. Down, subtract 12 to get the octave below. So that was 3rd fret. And the second note of that shape would be the 5th fret, or if I was up here, 17th fret. So now shape 5 of the C major pentatonic starts on the 5th fret or the 17th fret, which is shape 1 of our minor pentatonic. Oh. All right, and then second note of shape 5 brings us full circle back to shape 1. Pretty wild, right? So just to review, shape 1 of C major pentatonic is also shape 2 of the A minor pentatonic. Shape 2 of the C major pentatonic with shape 3 of the A minor pentatonic. So in order to get the major pentatonic shapes, you can just subtract 1 from the minor pentatonic shapes, and then you'll get the major pentatonic shape. All right? So at this point, I just want to quickly mention the idea of parallel keys before showing you a couple cool little licks. Parallel keys are different from relative keys, which we just went over, right? A minor and C major are relative keys. Parallel keys are when a major and minor scale have the same tonic note. For instance, A major and A minor are parallel keys. Parallel keys have different notes and follow different patterns of intervals, but they share the same tonic. Relative keys are 2 scales that have different tonics, but have the same notes in them. So I'm going to show you what I call the pinky trick, which will allow us to quickly switch between parallel keys when playing pentatonic scales. So when we play the E string tonic shape, or box 1 of the A minor pentatonic scale, we started on the 5th fret with our first finger. If I wanted to play a major pentatonic without too much calculation, we could switch our position so that our pinky is on the 5th fret. And then I could go ahead and play that 5th box, right? Or that E string tonic of the major pentatonic. Okay, A major pentatonic, A minor pentatonic. We can also just play shape 1 of the major pentatonics, starting on A. But I also like this concept of moving the pinky to where our first finger was, and many guitar players utilize this. Okay, so just to hit that again and explain it slightly differently. So I had my A minor pentatonic, box 1. But now I want to play A major pentatonic. So remember that first shape we started with, where we went. Right, so I'm just taking that open G major pentatonic shape and moving it up to the 5th fret. So essentially I can just play A minor pentatonic, starting with my first finger, following that pattern, that E string tonic pattern, box 1. Or I can start with my pinky on A and follow that E string tonic pattern, or box 5 of the major pentatonic. Now here's a bonus question. What is the relative minor, not the parallel minor, to A major, right? The parallel minor would be A minor. So what's the relative minor? So if you're having trouble figuring it out, remember, in order to find a relative minor, we go down 3 frets from whatever the tonic of our major scale is. So A, we wanted to find the relative minor to A major. So A is the 5th fret on the E string. So I'm going to go down 3 frets. Land on the 2nd fret, which is F sharp. So F sharp minor is the relative minor to A major. F sharp minor pentatonic, box 1, just to kind of connect it all. Right? It's the same as that 5th shape of the A major pentatonic. So, F sharp minor and A major are relative keys, as F sharp is 3 frets down from A. A minor and C major are relative keys, as C is 3 frets up from A. So remember that? A minor pentatonic, C major pentatonic. So going down 3 frets will get you to the relative minor of any major key, and going up 3 frets, you will find the relative major to any minor key. Got it? Great. Okay, now it's time to discuss what to do with these scales and how to practice them. You may be still wondering, but how do I know when to use a major pentatonic versus a minor pentatonic? So let me shed some light on that for you. Most songs and pieces of music you encounter will be written in either a major or minor key. Let's say you are learning a song in the key of D major and want to try improvising a solo over this song. You could find the note D on the E string, which is the 10th fret, and play shape 1 of the major pentatonic, or shape 5. Okay, that was D major pentatonic shape 1. But you could also find the relative minor of D by going down 3 frets from D to the 7th fret, and you would find that this is the note B. So B minor and D major are relative keys. So now you can use the B minor pentatonic, box 1, which we like because it's nice and easy to play. And you could use this to solo over a song that's in D major. From there, you could find all the shapes of the B minor pentatonic using the steps we went through earlier, right? Okay, shape 2. Okay, shape 3. Okay, shape 4. Okay, shape 5. You could have also just found the 5 shapes of the D major pentatonic in the same way, right? The second note of whatever shape you're playing becomes the first note of the next shape. So shape 1, D major. Okay, shape 2, D major. Okay, shape 3, shape 4, okay, we're getting a little high, shape 5. Like I've been saying, many guitar players find the first shape of the minor pentatonic to be the easiest shapes to play, so we often get stuck in that box and then feel uncomfortable when moving to other shapes. So this is why I'm going to tell you now to practice all of your scale shapes, all over the fretboard, meaning in different keys. Perhaps you even start with the shape that is hardest for you and practice that one more. Also, utilize different fingerings when practicing these scales. When we're in the middle of a solo, we won't always be able to use our preferred fingerings. So for example, this second shape, this first shape of the major pentatonic, I like to do like a fixed position thing where I start with my second finger, second, fourth, first, fourth, first, fourth. But maybe you do first, third, first, fourth, or first, third, first, third, first, third, first, second, first, third. You know, mess around playing it with different fingerings because you never know what kind of scenario you're going to encounter when you're just feeling the music and going for it. Also, practicing in different keys will get you to play the shapes all over the fretboard. So for example, if I play like C major pentatonic shape, box 1, but then I play G major pentatonic box 1, it gives me a different position, E major box 1, right? And you want to be used to the different spacing and size of the frets as you're all over the neck. You also may want to use different fingerings depending on what position you're in, right? As frets get skinnier, it gets easier to reach. And also just like how we get stuck in like one box, a lot of guitar players just know how to play in like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 keys. And you want to be able to play with all different types of musicians and all different styles of music and all different keys, all right? So play your B flat major pentatonic, play your D flat major pentatonic. Trust me, it will help you in the long run. And as for some exercises, I made a video in which I covered some minor pentatonic exercises. I will also give a specific link to that video below. You will see several links down in the description. Those exercises will help your technique as well as with learning the scales. So feel free to implement those exercises into all 5 shapes of your pentatonic, major and minor. I will make another video with a few more exercises to try, but for now I will leave you with 3 licks that use the major pentatonic scale. Practice these slow and focus on making a good tone with your guitar. Speed is the last thing you want to worry about. It will come in time as you build strength, dexterity, and coordination between your right and left hands. All right, here are those licks. So let's do that a little slower, starting in box 5. Slid up into box 1. Now, definitely in box 1 here. Into box 2. Slide. Then I play this little D-shaped chord up here. This is a C chord. C, E, G. All right, let's do the second lick. Let's hit that a little slower. So I started with an E major arpeggio. This was in box 3 of the pentatonic, major pentatonic. Okay, then I shifted up shape 4. All right, I got one more lick. This one's in B flat major pentatonic. Okay, let's do this one a little slower and watch the picking here. Starting in box 4. All right, well, I hope you enjoy those licks, and I hope you learned something about major pentatonics and minor pentatonics and how we make sense of all this crazy music theory stuff. But my next lesson, I will most likely be talking about blues scale, and we will be discussing using parallel keys together when improvising, which is very cool stuff that will make you sound like a real blues guy. Yeah, until then, subscribe, like, phone a friend, and thank you all so much for watching, and I wish you all the best.